You can make it, Daddy.
I've been trying all my life to understand the reason.
Just in general, we're all black men. Do we still need the black church?
Oh.
Pow, pow, pow.
Whoa.
Just shoot it.
Whoa. I feel like that was a direct question.
I know what it was. I know exactly what it was. The rocket launcher. This is Taylor.
No, that's Taylor's question.
Taylor and Marshall
He
segment.
ain't officially done till the 28th, fam.
This is Taylor and Marshall segment.
I'm done.
So here, let me say this.
Go ahead, bro.
Because Taylor is alluding to, I'm probably the if I'm the oldest in age, I'm the newest in faith.
Least
Okay.
church,
Okay.
Least church.
as they would say.
Yeah. I didn't make no choice till late into life. So these are two PKs, and I remember sitting at the table with them at Marshall office, and them unpacking their church trauma. And
They gonna eat that
it's-
up. I knew it was church hurt. They gonna eat that up, bro. Go ahead, I'm sorry, bro.
I mean, is it, should I not call it that?
No, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't have that experience.
Yeah.
I still navigate. I think Taylor. If you're watching me from the stage, I'm still navigating spaces like I'm in the street, like I'm at the door, back to the wall. I'm seeing everybody, and I know where to go and who not to talk to. I don't need no fake hugs, and I don't need to. And I'm working on it. That's something that I was thinking about last night. Like, the body is the body for a reason. The pinky and the thumb don't always. They're not that close, but they need each other. I haven't been coming out to service. It was the first time I came to service was today in probably like 4 months, maybe 5. It was something, and when we talked about it, it was just something that, like, dealing with anxiety and depression and all these things, like the way my mind worked, there was a time where I was just questioning everything. I'm questioning God, so just to not even be having the questions, I said, I just can't be in this space. Then I'm looking at folks looking at me funny because I'm experiencing something they're not experiencing, so they words don't, like, you don't understand what I'm going through, and you saying all this other stuff, and I'm trying to read this book, and I'm trying to go through it like, yo, what do this mean? What do this actually mean? Like, this is bigger than, clocked in on Tuesday and Sunday, for me, at least. So when I'm watching y'all go through what y'all talking about, like, I don't know that part. I'm trying to make sure. I think you have to be in community actually to experience it. So maybe that's one of my installations that I don't get so locked in those spaces, in the church spaces, to actually engage. I mean, that's what I think I experienced last night. So watching y'all go through it, it's like, wow. Like, it's so much that folks don't know. Like, that could be a whole show in itself.
Yes. Yeah.
So Black Church, Marshall, Bishop Shorts.
My quick answer is yes.
Okay.
We still need the black church.
And that wasn't a trap. I wanted to know.
Not as it is though.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Well,
we I mean, the church in general has always shifted with culture, right? Like, we've seen that in our lifetime. You couldn't wear pants to church when we was 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it's the club.
it's the club.
But,
yeah, straight up.
So that in the world, not of the world is dogma more is simply. But I think as an institution, and I pick on the church because I love the church, but like you see similar what do you want to call it? Like you see similar behavior in movement spaces, right? Where movement spaces have had to change, right, over time. Any institution has its flaws, right? And harm that it does. So I don't, I pick on the church because I believe for black folk, the church, even if niggas wasn't in church, I mean, they some of the most legalistic cats, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you ain't been to church in years, but you homophobic, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's still relevant in terms of culture, but I think it is losing relevancy because it used to be a time where, our only access to the information and interpretation and understanding came through a pastor. We're in the age of information, so we can fact check anything. We can look at different interpretations of the Bible, right? It's a lot we've learned over the years. And so I think the black church is necessary. I think black folk are spiritual folk in general. And our kind of spiritual and even political home was the church at a point.
Yeah.
But the church has kind of been stagnated into, white Christian nationalism. And bought in fully. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to some of y'all in Columbus.
Yeah.
I was about to be super messy, but
I thought we was being transparent.
Hey.
But no, because I also have grace because I get it. I was there. I'm not far removed. My dad is a pastor. He wasn't a pastor when I was growing up, but he was in ministry. So I understand the safety and all of that. And when you get some distance, you're like, But I think as an institution, to kind of button it up, I think it is necessary, but not in the current state that it is in. And I think there is a point of reckoning that is happening, and it needs to shift for the better, right? So when we talk about village, that's where village was for me. You know what I mean? Even all my first sin was in church, man. You know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of memories. You know what I'm saying? All my first everything. You know what I mean?
3000
like,
life of the party verse.
Yeah, like, so yes, or we easily slip into nihilism. Not to platform the church as the only, but I'm saying spiritual spaces in general are necessary for our liberation. But the church has not, for a long time, not operated as a liberatory space and an institution. It's operated as a gatekeeping, as a legal space, so to speak, right? As a rule-keeping space, and not a liberatory space. So I'll say that for now. But yeah, I do think it is necessary because we have, regardless of movement space, like, a lot of people say church is the opiate of the people. But I think, as African folk, like, we've always been spiritual people, and that's been a part of our liberation story. And so we need the church to be a liberatory space, not just to get to heaven, but right here, right now. Right here, right now. What you're doing, depastoring, nigga, like, that is unheard of. But it is also the kind of leadership we need in this day and time, because folks will die still thinking they're supposed to be in that position, and the church has died with them. You know what I mean? So I think you're a great example of leadership in this day and time to say, like, hey, this is not a life sentence, and there are other ways to show up, to show people the way, of Jesus. So
yeah, no, and by the way, that was very gracious by Brother Marshall Short.
Right.
Because y'all not going to be messy for real.
Because I'm like, I done had pastors in Columbus block me. But I'm just saying, because y'all caping for Charlie, and I mean, come on, man.
Well,
like, that's a whole episode. That's another episode.
But that is another episode. But I like tying it into kind of the thematic conversation we've been having about our wellness, our safety, our vulnerability, the actual authenticity of a spiritual fellowship. And I'm really trying to reckon with the institution of the Black church as relevant for those kinds of needs. You know what I mean? Like, or do we so value our traditional kind of markers of history versus like the actual necessity for our time? I think somebody like Philip Anthony Mitchell saying that this is not a black church was extremely problematic. Because yes, it is. Like you've cultivated a space culturally defined and dictated by black people. And ultimately your audience is black. And if you don't acknowledge that, then you do capitulate to the white supremacy institution that ultimately has co-opted the black church for its purposes in society. Therefore, it is not safe for black people to truly experience that kind of transparency, vulnerability, and understanding of one another that it takes for us to make it through these times. Like facts, like it ain't even about trying to find the best church on the menu. It's about, is this safe for me to grow, develop, learn, and develop a healthy perspective of society and not do harm? But if it's just about bludgeoning people around the idea of Jesus that turns into power and conquest, literal language of we're taking over cities for Jesus, then we're not talking about even the way of Christ that was taught through scripture. He didn't take over cities. He ran from crowds at cities. Like he did miracles, and then he questioned the faith of the people in the city as to whether he was going to continue doing miracles.
Talk about it.
And he actually took people who felt comfortable within religious spaces and gave them reason to distrust their religious spaces. So if we are truly building community around these institutions, let it be for the right reasons. Otherwise, we've got to find church in retreat spaces in the middle of the woods, in the dark,
In the
with
middle of
animals.
white supremacy.
Yeah, bro.
In the middle of Trump land.
Yeah, in the middle of Trump land. And
That's wild.
I think it's extremely irresponsible for black influential voices to not delineate between what represents good for our community and our people, considering our context and our experience, at the expense of getting a pat on the back from white power structures. And if you can't see that, like if it takes certain people speaking up about that, I'll be willing to be one of those people. And I know that there are people in my city who are capitulating to that. I've seen it firsthand. It's not about Jesus. It's not about worship. It's not about a depth of prayer and mission. It's about protecting your power. And at the end of the day, if we're not going to talk about that, we aren't going to even liberate ourselves. We ain't even going to be free to have a conversation. We're going to tiptoe around the things that are really going on in our lives. And I can't stand to even imagine not meeting these brothers and being able to meet them in a real place to talk about what's really going on in their lives because of the anxiety and the distrust that comes with entering into a church building. And that's something that we created. So I'm not asking us to do away with the black church. I'm asking for us to make much of what it's actually there for. And that is an extension of black spaces. That is an extension of literally being an advocate for black people in conditions that harm us and treat us with abuse. I will get these bars off more than today. And I understand that the urgency is ever before us. So if you're being silent right now,
Come on, Taelor.
then I don't even believe that it's worth even preserving the allure of the black church institution, because now's the time to talk. Now's the time to make much of the space. You hosted a Black Artist Forum that one day a long time ago, and it surprised me how many people responded and said, we need the black church.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Man, I didn't lead a black church. The church left me. You know, and we call him Pam over here. You know what I mean? I'm channeling O right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, said.
We call him Pam over here. No, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They co-opted.
I agree.
It's an aesthetic.
I
And
agree.
we are artists and creatives in here. We do branding. Like, we know what fundamentalism is wrapped in an edgy thug aesthetic. And that's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same doctrine. It's the same understanding. Like, I love the church. Like, it is my cultural foundation.
Yeah.
You know, my affinity for music, art, all of that starts there. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, talk that talk. I mean, it's necessary. And I think you'll find community. And I feel like, you know, millennial spaces, exennial spaces, all of that, like, are looking for those spaces. Yeah, So, and I also will say to O's point earlier, like, I didn't leave because of church hurt. Like, I didn't leave the church. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just started seeing where the church wasn't. You know what I mean? In the spaces I was finding myself in. And I think it's important to understand, and that's okay. I'm not saying it should have been. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't oh, somebody did something to me and I'm never going back to church again or whatever. I know there are people who have that trauma, and I don't want to diminish that.
Sure.
But it wasn't that situation, right? It was like kind of a reflection, like, oh yeah, you know, like I wasn't able to hold my son during his blessing because I wasn't married. You know what I mean? So, but I still didn't lead a church at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just part of the culture, right? I just thought that was okay. And then I'm seeing videos online where kids, you know, it's just expressing real feelings about harm that may be happening to them at home, and they being told it's a demon. So again, that's a whole episode within itself.
That's a whole episode,
So,
but
yeah,
it's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try to give my little nudges.
You do.
Every now and then, but these are not conversations that can be unpacked quickly.
Not at all.
I'm just happy to be in a safe space to talk freely about it, you know, because I'm not going to act like I didn't see what I saw, you know, and it's not for the sake of clickbait. I think I've proven myself that I could have had clickbait a long time ago. I could have spoken on things and people, and maybe will in the future, but I done seen what I've seen. I don't think just to be messy and gossipy, but to liberate people, you know, to say like there's an actual real faith and there's an actual real way and there's an actual spiritual experience that informs not only just us building our best life for the American dream, but at the service and the mission of people who are hurting. And the people who have been stepped over in the same Samaritan parable that gets quoted on Sunday morning services alongside of an offering. I don't have any kind of hesitation about bringing that up in spaces with brothers who have real-time experiences with the faith that they're asking in a way where they're asking God for answers for their situation now. If we can't get to that point where we are actually cultivating that kind of community, then what is the institution for? What's it for? Like, we just hosting pep rallies? We doing events called Black Voices and they don't have nothing to say to Black people? Like, I don't want to do any of that or be associated with any of that. And I know one thing, if I don't know what it means to be a pastor anymore, I know that God has called me to build something that doesn't exist. And that doesn't scare me because God created the world out of nothing. So what else can be created? What else can we do as creatives in order to experience a new way of showing people hope and love and safety, even as we endure the dangerous conditions of planet Earth? So I feel
still a pastor.
I'm hopeful. I'm just
letting say, Taylor, because you this is a milestone right now. So this bourbon also hit. So y'all gonna get these. Everything you're saying about safe space, you provided that for us, especially for me. Because no way, I ain't even had this conversation with my father. You know what I mean? Like, so when I say you've been pastoring, like, you've allowed, and these brothers have definitely brought me back closer to relationship, right? Like, I see, like, I don't want to say naivete about the church, but like, you don't have the baggage of it. And I'm like, dang, like, yeah, like them spirituals do mean something. They did carry a spirit. You know, my man 7-Day Adventist, we won't hold that against him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do nothing on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? It's Sabbath, you know. So we had to do this retreat on Sunday because my mans couldn't do the retreat on Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't do this retreat on Saturday because my mans, we had to respect my mans. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, man, like Rod will strike up a prayer in a heartbeat, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like where I'm like, dang, I should have prayed right there. Like my old me, I would have been doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so like I appreciate y'all, man, for holding space for my doubt.
Listen, yo, cause just the stuff that you shared, like it sounds crazy. Like if I had went through those things, I don't know that I would be in the faith myself. And I'm not saying that you're not in the faith. I think me would have been like, nah, I'm cool. Like, what y'all on? And as an observer in my young years, in young adult years, I've been finding faith till I was 30. So I was always skeptical of the things that you had said, that you had seen. I'd already seen them. I could already see, some of the crooks and like, nah, this don't feel right. Like y'all sound like we might as well take it to the block the way I'm watching y'all move. So if y'all just like that, what do I need to be in that space for? That's like, I'm very, very much thinking about that, when this the question, and this will be controversial, like the black church and the white church or whatever church could always look shady to me. So I'm just in the space for myself where just what the words say. And I've watched, because I'm a DJ and I'm a musician, I've watched what music can do to people. By the way, I enjoyed what your father did and your sister did last night. That was amazing. But I know him, so I know that it's not the entertainment part of their family. I sat with his father and had real discussion about real stuff. So I know even though they're gifted with the music, that's not the hook for them. And I know that we can be swayed because I've done it, man. On like here's the two things I've seen. I've seen people come into a club and I've watched the DJ play this type of music because he sees this set over here, and this type of music because he sees this set over here, and he's going back and forth, and he can move their energy to make them fight. But I've also seen people that I know, like, oh, you gonna be outside this weekend? You was outside last weekend or now Sunday because of the music is good and you testifying and hallelujah and stomping and clapping. But what my old head would say, like, you gonna bust hell wide open on Monday. So if it's just the music, and if it's just like, that's when I think about the black church from the outside looking in. Because I'm on the outside, I'm not in the trenches like y'all were. So when I see the traditions and the cultural contributions, when I think about it, it felt performative, because if I can watch somebody do all these things Monday through Saturday and Sunday, this is where they polish up and they hoop and they holler, or even if I know this joker on the pulpit and I know something, like I really know what you on, and it's like, so I don't care if it's, just give me what the words say. That's where I sit. So like now being at Linden Life, like that's the first time, because this really my second church that I really attended with intention. The first one was a small one. It was, a lot of older black people. So if that was we would call it the black church, yeah, we'll say that then. But this is a mixed congregation, and it don't feel like the black church. The music isn't traditional, Baptist music. No organ.
Ain't got no organ, bro.
So
what are we talking about?
For me, I was able to, like, I don't have to, like, the performative part, like, Taelor can just get to the word, and he'll tell the stories about his experience as a child with his father and his mother and his family at traditional black churches, and he'll bring that in, but it's still just the word. Like, and for me, that's the saving part. That's the thing that, the intellectual that I am, I don't need the hooping. Like I don't need that. That for me, that feel like a con. I feel like you know, we 3-card Monty over here. Like you moving, grooving, and you know, you ain't really said nothing. But so I'm telling you, for me, looking out, it felt like
that's sobering though.
it felt like oh, he conning me. Like
Yeah.
what? And then when I asked like what y'all learn, and they can't say nothing. And then if I'm building with the boys on the block, and these is Muslims and 5%ers and Nation of Islam, and they can go surah for surah and mathematics, and we can all build and destroy. So like these dudes is really using the words, the lessons, and not saying like that's the thing. But when I go over here and I'm like, so y'all gonna just keep hitting me with this Romans 8:28? That's what y'all gonna keep hitting me with? And that's cool, cause I had to sit on that too. But that's the one that be like, I'm like, yo, so y'all not really breaking this down to live it? So meeting a pastor that did that, like I can sit in a space now, like Saturday, when it felt very much like a traditional. On the Sabbath. Yeah. I've been to your church too, joking, sucking. Listen, I know Pastor Cox, pause. I know him, that's my guy too. I've been to your church too. But the traditional stuff don't, like I can go listen to Aretha Franklin on my own and I'll be cool. I just want to know what the words say, because this is a point of like, I'm gonna make a real decision on how I treat you based off what the words say. And if I don't know that, I'm gonna go off my feelings and my emotions, then we're gonna be in another place. And I don't wanna be there no more.
But you get some of the other elements because you get some of the performative elements because you didn't. That's the only place church folk can get it. So when you say the hooping, to me, that's the bravado of a rapper.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so I have a great appreciation for like a hoop. Everything you say, because I don't always believe rappers either.
Yeah.
But like, that's the art of it, is to me the appreciation, and that's what I mean by the cultural aspect of the black church.
I can respect it.
You know what I'm saying?
I can respect it, appreciate it, because I see. So this was something my old head used to say. I used to be sitting in the first pew, and we'll leave after Sunday, and I'm like right with the pastor, like, you know, this is some very non-traditional stuff that he's just like, yo, where we at it? And we talking, and he'll say, what you think? And I say, well, you was preaching today. I like teaching. But he'll say, you didn't see who came in, you sit up front, so you don't see who's coming in the door. And you don't know what they needed for this. And so I get what they play. I get when it plays a part for somebody that they might not need, you know, the breaking downs. They might not need the MacArthur footnotes today. They need to know God is here and present for them in whatever condition they are. So I know that to be a fact for people. I think in this later part of this walk, in the last 2 years, I've prayed to not let it all be head knowledge, that I could feel the presence, that I could be in spaces and know God's presence without trying to be logical about it and take this and cross-reference that. Like, that's how I think, but I know that part makes it too analytical to just let God be God.
No, let me give you something, because the services, and maybe you can relate, the services where that happened, the preacher, the pastor could not get through the message. So the parts, the services that are most impactful for me, or that I can recall, where I'm like, I felt something, the message couldn't be finished. Like, sometimes it never got started. You know what I'm saying? And there was never a word of the scripture read. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a feeling. It was just spirit. It was just culture even. I would even attribute, you know what I mean? And so, like, that thing that you're searching for is not a heady thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not an intellectual thing. It's very intellectual, but it's not an academic thing.
No, I
You know what I'm
now.
saying? So
I get
that
it now.
search for that, like, you know, all of that, what we looking for has been crowded by dogma. It's been crowded by rules. It's been crowded by, you have to do this, then that. You know what I mean? And what people are, and you felt this, and because I've seen you curate this at the redo. I've seen you curate the same feeling that I had in that church, in that moment where you like, man, I ain't even saved today, but I'm on this altar, my nigga. Like, like, it's the same feeling, bro.
Yeah.
No, I don't just.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the limitation we put on God and all of this stuff, because like the church tries to hold a bounty on like God, you know what I mean? But I hope y'all hearing me, and I know, because I know some of y'all, like, that feeling ain't necessarily even coming from scripture. There's a time, there's Bible study. But that feeling, that freedom, that release, that liberation, it wasn't a word spoken. It might have been a hum, and then somebody else hummed. And it was like, dang, I feel that hum. You might have wanted to say damn, but you was in church.
Your boy said damn last night on stage. I want you to know.
Oh, did he?
Oh,
They was cussing at Linda.
Nah, he tried to.
But in all seriousness, when you say you searching for that, that's what we've lost.
Yeah, I think you know what I'm saying. No, yeah, I think that's a big part of my personal search. Like saying, you guys know, I'm like, all right, you know, I know the Bible per se, right? I heard all the scripture, but I'm like, how do I make this work for me where I'm at right now? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we all gonna come to a point where some chores happen. And if somebody offered you scripture right at that moment, it's going to feel like the most unhuman thing they can do. Yeah, that's what it's going to feel like. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens when you get there? That's what I've been wrestling with for the past year. How do I make my faith work for me? How do I let my faith keep my blood pressure down? Keep me from going to the hospital with these assignments. Man, the word is the word. I'm not ever taking from it. It's tough. But man, you're going to reach something one day where you're going to look at it and you're going to say, man, that was the most inhuman thing you can be. While offering scripture while I watch my brother lay cold, whatever you got. So
What they say,
you have
everything happens for a reason.
like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and we're human, right? We're human, so we don't like being in that space. So we try to offer whatever comfort we can think of. But that's what I want more people to talk about, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, is I understand the institutional church, but what does it really mean to be Christian or to have faith? And if it's not showing up for you, then what is it? And for me, man, for over this last year, I'm like, brother, if I don't figure this out, if I don't allow my faith to truly change my life, then what is it all for?
You know, I'm retired, you know, so I don't have the answers that I am programmed to give, but I'm gonna retreat back to what we said earlier, to allow it. To allow the discomfort, to allow the questions, to allow even the open processing, because I don't want to go as far as to say that I'm anti-apologetics.
Ooh,
but
come on,
I
man.
feel like the apologetics culture has arrogantly assumed that there are like direct answers to everything that could possibly be asked, and some things are, as the scriptures say, too high for us. We feel things that go deeper than a practical 1+1 equation. And I'll say for me, I have been experiencing a lot of God in stillness. And there is a discomfort in the stillness, but then there's also rest in the stillness. You know, that I don't have it together is almost like a surrender to something greater than me. So I'm just going to encourage stillness. I think that this time together that we have is going to be a practice of stillness. But it is not, for me, a retreat back to the institutional call and response that it feels like we always supposed to have. I don't want to be misheard or misunderstood to say that I don't believe in the institution wholesale anymore. I just believe in more than the institution. I believe that there are limits to the doors of the church. And I also believe that the God of heaven and earth created all of things around us for us to learn more about him beyond what we can accomplish in 2 hours on Sunday or Saturday. The real Saturday. You see some of my posts, I'll say Sabbath poetry, and I'll post it on a Saturday.
Sabbath
I'll be
poetry
trying
is
to,
wild.
like, you know. But listen, look, I want to put a pin here because this is part one of probably much more conversation that we could have. But I appreciate you, brothers. I appreciate even what we've been able to unpack up to this point. I'm gonna take all of the arrows for controversy. I don't care.
Nah, man, we
like,
taking them with you.
Hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I know
like,
you got it. You know, you're pastor. You know,
I
former.
mean, you know, it is.
You ain't slick.
Former pastor, but you know, we take that with you.
I'm letting you ride, but you really know the bishop is your low key title.
what I said.
That's
You got a building.
Listen, you got a building, bro. We just had service on Thursday. So I just want to say, like, this is always a space we can come back to. This is a traveling space, but I want to make room for us to just, you know, kick it with each other. And thank you guys for being present, for even just this moment we were able to capture. Hopefully we can just look at this as documented proof of our journey.
Man,
you know,
we talk
like,
about this all the time.
yeah, and we do talk about it all the time.
This
but
the podcast they've been waiting for. You should have seen when I posted that. They're like, where is it at?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
bro.
I was
When
like,
can I be on it?
fam,
Oh
Like,
my
folks
God.
hit me up like, I was like, bro, there was no podcast.
yo,
Now
and
we
these
gotta actually.
look, these are leaders in so many different respects. So, like, it ain't just about whatever audience I can gather. Like, and people will be like, yo, they said what? You know, Marshall said, oh, yo,
Yeah, that's what I listen.
You know, oh, like, it's good to hear the heart behind, you know, the humans beyond just the function, you know, because, you know, people can just see y'all as good at your craft. So all that to say, we're going to be back. So, you know, we had time today. We made time today. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And, submit all critique to me. Peace.
Oh, I've been trying all my life to understand the reason. Oh, I've been trying all my life to understand.